Key speakers episode, who knows? But who cares?
We're going and going. You know what? What I'm going to do, I think we should shift our seats a little bit to the camera, because that
You're right.
was one of my assistants did say that.
That was a
we
suggestion.
faced each other. We should probably be facing more the camera. So we're always taking good advice, guys. We're always improving the show every time. And yeah, we got a lot of plans for the show. It's going to keep getting better, increasing. A new setup soon's coming on the verge.
Ooh,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, we got to get into it.
Oh, I probably shouldn't say a date. We'll
Yeah,
figure it
yeah,
out
no
first.
date, no date.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
But definitely a lot of great things coming,
Yeah.
by the end of this year. Whole new setup, whole new everything. And we're just bringing you the heat like we do all the time.
All the time.
Heat speakers. Man, August 11th. Goodness gracious. This year is just,
Flown by.
it's not waiting for nobody.
No.
I can't believe my son starts school next week. Crazy. Summer is over for kids. It's a wrap. Gosh.
Done
it
deal.
just flew by, man.
I can't believe kids are back in school. I can't believe it's still hot as hell. And I can't believe home buyers are still on the fence, man.
Still on the
There's
fence.
things I just cannot believe, man.
Yes.
Things
I have
cannot
about 50 clients that are on the fence. My fence is kind of full right now.
Yeah. It's about to break.
It's a lot of pent up demand, a lot of pent up inventory.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, guys, is basically there's a lot of buyers who want to buy. The only thing holding them back right now is affordability, due to the fact that rates are north of 7%.
We'll talk about that
But there's
here
a
soon.
lot of people waiting until it drops down. There's a lot of sellers that want to sell and buy a new home. They want to downsize or they want to move up, get a bigger home. But right now, it just doesn't really make sense to them.
Right.
So once those rates come down, and what they will, the floodgates are just going to open.
Yeah.
But there is something that I want to put out there, and for the I want to say investor-minded type of buyer, right? That is not looking at today and what's happening in the market today, but they're looking at it like, okay, where's the opportunity in this market,
Yeah.
right? Whenever there's there's pain or there's distress going on in the market or any business, there's always opportunity. You just got to look and find. So there is some big opportunity in this market with high rates. Should I say it now, or
Yeah. Go for it.
I'm gonna let the cat
Jump
out the
in.
bag? So what I feel the opportunity is this. We know how prices aren't coming down; they're just going up and up. And I'm going to get into the local data and shortly here in Fresno, and showing how year on year we're still we're up about 4.5%. However, prices are still going up, but the rates, I believe, will start slowly coming down at some point. Nobody knows when. They could go up, right? However, one strategy I would say, as buyers out there, look at it this way. It may not be a bad thing to go shop for your home today, right? Even though we know it's less affordable with the rates higher. However, the great thing is you can get that house today at today's prices, because we know this year, this time next year, or even this next January, December this year, prices are going to be up from where they are now.
I believe
Now,
so. Yeah.
what if you took advantage of the prices today, get the house today? Yes, true, you're going to have a higher rate. But once rates do come down, if they do come down, you can refi. That's an option, but you got today's prices. Now, on the other side, what if rates continue to rise? Because honestly, guys, no one knows. I don't care what anyone says. No one knows if rates are going to go up or down. No one has the real information. It's all projections based on maybe history and data. That's all we can do is project based on certain pieces of information we get,
Right.
economists and real estate professionals as a whole. We can just project. So no one knows where we're going. We don't know if we're going to go higher with rates. We don't know if we're going to go lower. However, we do know that prices are going up, and it might not be a bad thing to lock in today's prices, because at least once rates go up or down, you have an option to act accordingly based on that. And you already got the house, right? So that's one piece of advice. There's another option as well, but I'll let you talk about that. There's another option that's for you guys. New construction. I think I mentioned the last podcast is another good option for buyers looking in this market, in this environment. Builders have a lot of power right now, guys, to buy down your rate.
Right.
They're able to. They're giving a lot of credits for closing costs. Right. A couple of lenders are giving $15,000, $20,000 towards your closing. That's a chunk of money, guys. You guys are going to have to use to buy down the rate. You can use it strictly for your closing cost. whatever, but and the inventory is available. So builders are looking good right now. That might be a good option. But if you're not into new construction, locking in a house right now at today's prices may be a smart move, to be honest. Before they go up, because they're going up.
100%.
Going up.
100%. And this is something to think about too. If you are not into new construction, right, like you just mentioned, not into new construction for whatever reason it may be, the style of the home, the size of the lot, I don't care what your reasoning is for not being into new construction. But you don't have to keep that home. You don't have to keep that home forever. Like, so if you go into buying a home, don't view it as buying a forever home. View it as investing your money in an asset. You know, because if you view it that way, you can always exit an asset. And if the asset is worth more than what you bought it for, anyone's going to call that a gain, a plus, right? I mean, you do that with stocks, that's a plus, right? You do that with a vehicle you buy, a classic car, that's a plus. View real estate the same, you know. So if we're in a market, and it's specific to everybody, if we're in a market where you can afford to buy a home right now, and you instead decide to shop strategically rather than emotionally, and you decide to go the route that, you know what, I'm going to go new construction, which I don't necessarily care for. I'm going to buy a starter home, which we don't necessarily want, on a lot which we necessarily think is too small. But they're giving us 20 grand to buy it down to a 5.25%, which is not going to happen anywhere else.
Nowhere else.
It's not going to happen anywhere else. But they give you 15, 20 grand. That's plenty of money to buy your rate down. So you get into a new construction home, starter home, family home, at a 5.25%, when everybody else is getting 7.25%.
Yeah.
Your payment's going to be more affordable. You do not have to keep that house. You don't have to keep that house. And if you're living in it, if you're in there for at least 2 years, when you sell it, your profit is tax free. If you're in there for at least 2 years, your profit is tax free.
Yeah.
So dump it 2 years from now.
Right.
Dump it 2 years from now. Take the pay down that you put in there, the initial deposit that you put down, the appreciation that's gained because rates have fallen, more buyers jump in, home prices go up. Take all of that, combine it into a home you really want on an acre and a half.
Makes sense.
That, I mean, it's a fantastic plan, man.
No,
it's
100%.
It's just people have to get out of, but my dog can't run around back here.
Yeah.
But my kids can't put up that playhouse that we saw at Costco. You know, you got to get out of that. You know, it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Not a big deal.
Right.
They're going to have, at some point, they're going to have a tree house in the future, a full tree house, to give up a couple years of letting that appreciation in that asset gain. You know, so that's how I would do it. As a matter of fact, we've already talked off record. We're looking, and we're hitting every new construction company. And my first question is, what can you buy my rate down to?
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
I'm
out there shopping, guys.
What can you buy my rate down to?
Yeah, I'm shopping for new construction as well.
And I'm not hitting up a Mark. I'm not hitting up a Sam from Sam Lends Money. I'm not hitting up
Shout out to
Corbin from Vero Mortgage. Shout out to Corbin. I'm not hitting them up because we cannot match these new construction builders. We can't.
Yeah, you can't. Can't compete with them.
Now, I'm talking about rate here because service, knowledge of the industry, knowledge of the market. Builders can't compete with us, right? We're way better than them. But ultimately, right now, 15, 20K is going to do a lot more for your rate than I could do, than some other, regional brokers can do. So that may not happen right now, but you use their knowledge right now and you go back to them when it's shopping time for your acre and a half. You know what I mean? So that's the way to do it right now.
Yeah, very true, guys. So just got to figure out.
We're both doing it. We're both looking on our own. So
we're both exactly 100%. So there's a lot of strategies, a lot of different ways. You just got to think outside the box. But if there's a will, there's a way. And if you really want to buy a home, I would look really into it right now just to see what options that may suit your needs and what makes the most sense. Also, one thing I want to leave you guys also too. I'm in talks with an ADU builder. So I met with the ADU builder the other day. For those are not familiar, ADUs, accessory dwelling units, those are similar like tiny houses, basically. California just passed legislation making it even easier and streamlining the process. I'm hearing too they're working on maybe giving a grant
up
towards
to 40 grand
to ADUs, right? When I met with this gentleman, shout out to Dave Clevenger. He's with I'm gonna put myself on the spot here. Prefab Solutions. Great guy. And he's been building ADUs for many years. So I went to tour his facility, man, and we toured a 2-bedroom, 1-bath that he's building, and it looks great. It's amazing. That footage will be out soon as well, but that's a great option, man. Especially, for those people, I got clients now looking for a house and they need like a second unit or a mother-in-law suite for their mom. So
And if you got the space for it.
that might be an option, if you find a house on a good lot, get the ADU back there. It'd be great for a family member. It could be for kids, mother-in-law. Better yet, it could be a rental property. Imagine your
Traveling
families.
nurse.
Wow, yes, you guys your families in the main house, and you're renting out. Now you're getting, rental income to help pay down your mortgage. So, it's a great option, and so I think ADUs are definitely going to be on an uptick here as well. And if you guys are interested in that, contact me. I'll get you in touch with who you need to get in touch with, educate you. It's a great option.
And how do you finance this building that's just going to spawn out of the ground on your property? If you own a home and you've owned it for at least 4 years, guaranteed you got equity in that home.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You can borrow that equity in your home to further improve your property or put an ADU on it that's going to generate more income out of the home you're currently
Increase
at.
the value.
But you don't want to touch your first mortgage because you got a 3%. And right now, in order to get that equity out, you would have to change it to a 7.5. Nobody wants to do that.
Or HELOC.
That don't make that don't make financial sense. So
Sure.
instead, what you do is you go and borrow against your house in the form of a home equity loan, home equity line of credit, pull that out, sit on these funds, go get a bid from these contractors and say, hey, I can put an ADU up for $60,000.
Yeah.
There's a $40K grant from California, $20,000 out of your HELOC.
What?
ADU up back there making $1,100 a month. Easy.
I mean, it just, like I said, you guys just gotta put your
strategic ways.
investor hat on, investor hat, and again, just reach out. I'm always open to reach out to us,
spitball.
anyone.
Spitball some ideas.
Just to go over different options that are available, what's available. A lot of people, the average person, I wouldn't expect to know all the options and things they can do, and that's what we're here for, guys. We're just an open book, ready to help in any way. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out. What was the other thing I was going to mention? What's the lending looking like this week? I hate to ask.
Market update. Yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. So at one point it looked good. It looked okay. The inflation numbers came down. We kicked off a higher average year over year because everything that we monitor is a 12-month rolling period when it comes to what inflation looks like. Okay, so we kicked off last month. We had knocked off a higher average, so it looked good. It looked good for the overall numbers.
Last month, let's do headline and CPI was what last month? You recall?
2 point. No, it's 3 even.
3 even.
3 even.
3 even headline.
Yeah, core was 4.
Right.
Core was 4. And this month has been no change. And you would think that there was no change in the interest rates, but they are slowly ticking back up.
Actually, headline went to 3.2.
3.2.
Yes. Just
Gotcha.
The latest. So it went up a couple, like just 0.2% up, which isn't much. So what I noticed a lot of the headline data, a lot of the inflation was in shelter. Shelter was 90% of that inflation reading. So next month they're expecting a much better reading because shelter should be falling off a lot.
Those higher averages.
Yes. So like you said, year on year, we're replacing last year's data with this year. So as we move into the August data, this is when the shelter should roll off and showing how it's coming down and not deflating, but just slowing inflating, slowing inflation. So next month we're expecting a better number. So maybe back down to 3 or hopefully sub 3 would be great, 2 something. But so that's where it's at.
So and this is a slow move back up. We drop back down, so we slowly move back up to above 7. Okay. If we're looking at a conventional loan, we're 7.25 to 7.5. Investors that are looking at their loans are about a point higher at 8 1/8. 8.125 to 8.375. for investor or secondary homes. FHA sitting right around 7 even. Same thing with USDA.
Gotcha.
VA is slightly lower, 6.875. But we're all around 7. We're
Basically,
all around 7 out
you're
here
gonna have
shopping.
a 7 on it, right?
A good way to estimate all of your values or any calculator you run on a home that you see that you like is 7. 7 is a good number.
Yeah. And again, just really sitting down with your lender guys, your loan officer, running the numbers just to see what the payment looks like, right? And see if that option is viable. Again, probably not going to get today's prices next year, but and some people may be in a position to make those higher payments right now for a while until it's some change, and some may not. So you just have to know your own situation.
Right.
Yep. Oh, sweet. Well, let me just get into the really quick update on home median list prices right now, what's happening. I'm just going to go off of what's the median list price, guys. So it's a difference between median sales price or close price as to what median list price. Median list price is just simply what's the middle number it's not even average, it's the middle number of listings that are on the market today here in Fresno. So usually that middle number, you got the high end market and you got the lower end. The middle number is usually kind of a good indicator of what the overall market looks like. Right now here in Fresno, the median list price is $450,000. Median list price right now. If we go back last year at this time, guys, last August 12th, the median list price was $415. So we are up. We are up on list price right here in Fresno. And again, it's case by case depending on the market you're in. But so we're looking good, as sales price right now. It's amazing. It amazes me still that we still got a lot of demand out there and buyers are still somewhat competing. They're not making as crazy offers high as they were, but they're still competitive out there, even with the higher rates. So yeah, not bad. Let's see what Clovis is doing. Any thoughts on that, man?
The strategy and the offers going in, that's a really good number to know, that median, because how you offer or the strategy going into purchasing that home is going to differ if you're going and looking to purchase a home that is underneath that number versus a number that is over that, right? So if you're looking at a property that's above that median list price that you just mentioned, if you're looking at a home above that, that's a separate market. That's a different kind of market, right? They're seeing things differently than the homes that are for sale at that list number and under, right? So make sure that when you're speaking to your realtor or you're talking to your lender, that you guys are strategizing based on the market that you're in, because some people, believe it or not, it may not be majority watching here, but some people, believe it or not, are looking at $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 homes.
Right.
And they are looking at those homes pretty much by themselves. There's not a whole lot of people shopping at that price point right now that can afford it with where the interest rates are at.
Great point.
So, it's if you can afford it, there's absolutely no reason to resort back to that new construction strategy I just talked about. You're at a point where you don't need that equity. You're at a point where you don't need the low payment. You're at a point where you can afford this higher cost of capital right now, this 7% on my mortgage. I can afford that right now, and things are going to get better in the next 3 years. So if I can afford it now, it's just going to be better in the next 3 years.
Very true. That's it.
You know what I mean?
But
not everybody's there. Not everybody's there. So if you're shopping in that range, just understand that your strategy is going to be different than somebody shopping below that
Very
450.
True. And keep in mind, guys, there's really at least two real estate markets per market. There's a separation. So in every market, especially here, you got the high end, you got the below median. So typically median and lower here in Fresno, or for most markets across the country, the median and lower is super hot, on fire,
very competitive. Very competitive.
That's where, and that's where we have the low housing inventory.
Right.
We have the lowest amount of homes in the sub median, and that's where the demand is. Above the median and in luxury, higher end, that's where it gets slow. It slows down a lot, like you said, maybe one buyer, two buyers per property. That's where you're seeing the pain. That's where you're hearing on the news. Real estate prices are down. That's
days on market,
all the
35
fear,
days before it's sold.
Right.
That's
all the fear,
end.
guys, you're hearing, and we've got to clarify this because I don't know how many people, I don't know how much this message is getting out, but a lot of stuff the news is saying, any articles about the market, real estate market is, prices are lower and all that. It's because it's the higher end of the market.
Yeah.
Now you'll never, well, at least to now, you're not going to hear that that same type of reporting talking about under median. So just keep that in mind, guys. When they're talking about it, they're mainly talking about there's definitely some pain in the higher end of the real estate for residential, and also there's a lot of pain in commercial real estate. So the news is covering, real estate crashes and a lot of pain in real estate. Be careful of what they're saying. Listen closely, because a lot of times they're referring to commercial real estate, which is completely different than residential. Has nothing to do with it. Their whole loan structure is completely different.
Terms, everything's different.
Exactly. So a lot of times, it's confusing to the average person. They hear real estate's crashing, blah, blah, but they're talking about commercial. Or real estate's crashing, they're talking about luxury market, right? So you got to be careful, because the news and all these articles really, kind of dictates or formulates people's opinions. And a lot of people put a lot on what they hear from news and things like that. But you just want to make sure you're getting the real information.
Right.
That's pretty much it on that.
Right. No, yeah. That's the truth, though. That's
for sure.
Truth. So anybody looking to develop the plan on what they're going to buy, whether it's your first home, it's a second home you're buying because you want to make your first one a rental, doesn't matter what your plan is. Anybody looking to develop a plan, definitely meet with your trusted, advisor, with your trusted specialist, your trusted professional in the real estate field. I mean, there's no reason you shouldn't. Realtors don't charge you money to talk to them. Lenders don't charge you money to talk to them. Build your team, find people that you're comfortable with, and talk to them about your strategy. If your strategy is, hey, I want to rent this house out, but I don't want to make it not worth it by moving into a home that I'm going to downsize for and pay more, I'd rather just stay where I'm at. How can I grow my portfolio? Because that purchase into my next primary doesn't make any sense. Me and my family don't want to move. But a smaller home is the only thing that would provide a lower payment. There's plenty of ways around that. There's plenty of ways to access the equity in your home to continue to build your portfolio. You have to get out of that I'm a consumer home buyer hat and put on the one that you said earlier.
Yeah. The investment.
We're looking to invest now. And anybody who's an homeowner should already know that my home is worth more than what I bought it for. I made a good investment.
Yeah.
If you own a home and it's worth more than what you bought it for, look in the mirror and say, I made a good investment. And if you made a good investment, that means that you are an investor. Put on that investment hat, and if what you're looking to do is replicate what you've already done 5 years ago,
right?
Put that hat on, build a team of an agent, of a lender, of a homeowner's insurance guy, of a home development, new construction, handyman. Build a team and continue to build.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Also, there's never a time to stop. Nobody will ever tell you stop.
Sure.
And the people that tell you stop is because they want to buy the house and they want you to stay out of it.
Exactly. And also, I want to put this out there. I'm talking to the homeowners out there. Guys, if you really remember back when you purchased your house, this doesn't apply to everyone, but I would say maybe half of the homeowners right now. Think about back then when you were shopping for your house. How many times or how many people probably mentioned to you, it's not a good time to buy? Right? I mean, people always say that every year after year, it's not a good time to buy and good night. And I think I touched on this last podcast. If you really think about it, guys, if you think historically, when wasn't a good time to buy? And I could just think of maybe one time, but those people even recovered if they didn't have to sell right away. And that's back, of course, to 2008, right? The whole crash. But even then, there were deals happening right after that. But if we take 2008, that will never happen again the way that happened, because lending standards are super tight. They put guidelines. So it was just loose back then.
It was
right?
a wild west.
They fixed that issue, right? So besides the 2008, right, we know we're never going to have that issue again. When was it a bad time to buy, if you think about it? Like, really think about it. Right? I mean, but I gotta bring it up because you hear it all the time, man. You got people. I mean, you got the brother-in-law, you got the cousin, the friend, whoever. Oh man, I wouldn't buy it now. It's not good. But those are the people that, and then look at their situation. Actually, I would go back right now, look at the people that tell you it's not a good time to buy. Look what situation they're in. Are they financially doing very well, or as they want to be? If not, you need to listen to yourself, cut out, block out all the noise, and just
Find the
look
people
at
that are doing what you
look
want.
at real professionals, and then just if you don't. I know sometimes they think, oh yeah, you guys are real estate agents. You're supposed to say
Right.
that. However, talk to several. Get 10 different opinions. Get investors, agents, lenders. There's a lot of people in the real estate field. We just have a lot of knowledge, and we just tell you the truth. A lot of us will tell you this straight up. You know, seek out that. Talk to different people. Formulate your own opinion. Do your research. Right. But because I hear so many times, how people listen to other people, they don't do something, then 3 years later they kick themselves in the butt. They're like, man, I'd be so good.
70,000 ago.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100,000 ago, right?
100,000
and you miss
ago.
your opportunity every year because you're hearing people, it's not a good time to buy. Block it out, really look at it, do the research, do the homework, research, seek out someone to educate you on everything, the market, and make your own opinion. Make your decision from there. But just don't base it off of just someone saying that. So
Yeah.
I just had to get on my little soapbox because I hear it so much, right? And it just bugs me that people allow other people just to say something, and usually those people, I would be willing to bet 100% of the people who tell someone not to buy, it's not a good time.
Not owners.
They're not only not owners, they have no real estate experience
No.
at all. They don't know nothing about real estate typically. A lot of people know maybe about stocks. Is what I see. So a lot of people they use the stock market and try to compare it, or say or think real estate goes the same way, but it completely doesn't. Stocks, things go up and down quickly overnight. Real estate is a lot slower. It's a lot slower. So it's a much safer investment. It takes a long time. It takes a while for prices to come down. It doesn't just do that overnight. It's a less riskier investment, of course, than stocks. So some people may equate the two.
Yeah.
Which they are definitely not.
Yeah, no, and you can simplify that. I mean, when you're buying stocks, you're buying shares of a company. So when you're buying yourself a home, you're buying a property on a certain parcel or an APN number. These boundaries, these invisible boundaries, this is my land. So when you compare the two, when you simplify it all the way down, I'm buying property that I can do whatever I want on, or I'm buying portion of the restaurant down the street. Which one has a better chance of not making it? The restaurant or you not paying your mortgage?
Right.
If you're like, well, if I have to choose between going to that restaurant to continue making the money or paying my mortgage, I'm going to pay my mortgage.
Right. You
You just answered the question.
Yeah.
So if you're investing in it, you cannot compare the two.
You can't.
You're investing in a business. If that business fails, your money's gone.
Right.
Or you're investing in real estate, real hard assets, tangible assets
Yep.
that you're putting your money into, and then it's going to be worth more in the future.
It just history shows it.
History shows
it. So even if something crazy happens in a year or two, prices go down a little bit. Well, look what happens over several years. It's just shown. It always recovers. It always goes back up. We just went through that last year, last fall, right? Prices went down a little bit. Rates went up. Everyone's afraid. And really,
Crash is coming.
Yeah, crash
Here
was
we
coming.
are.
They dropped. And boom, we're right back and higher than we were last year. So again, guys, it's
And people are still calling for it, and some of the same people are still calling for it, and they're gonna call for it until it happens, and then they're gonna say that they were right. But
there's nothing.
How are they right if they were wrong for the past 8 years, and then they're right on the 9th year? That doesn't make them right, what I like? I like this phrase: even a broken clock is right twice a day.
100%. I was going to say.
I love that.
Yep. The same people who have been calling for a crash has been calling for a crash ever since 2008 to happen again. They're like, it's going to crash next year. That, of course, one day they may or may not be right? But honestly, realistically, some hard evidence and information, if they're not providing you real true data of why and showing you how it's going to crash, because there's nothing in the data, no economist, no real estate professional sees any type of crash coming along in prices. Now, crash in transactions, we're already experiencing that. We did 5 million last year. transactions and sales. This year we're
down
like
20%. We're down to 4 million.
Yeah, we're going to be in the 4 millions this year. However, prices are still up.
That's crazy.
Now, what data people have, they say, oh, it's going to be a foreclosure. Well, we'll do another show and show you how foreclosures are they're up, but they are compared to 2019.
They're so small.
They're so
such
down.
a small part of the market.
They're not even. They got a lot ways to go to get even to 2019 levels, right? And in 2019 and 2018, it wasn't a big wave. It was just, I believe historically, we get about I don't want to say number. I want to say 100 something thousand, between 1 and 200,000, I believe, per quarter. I think on average historically. But yeah, we're nowhere close to those numbers.
And if you want to do your own research, right? I mean, you let's say you start looking at some of this data, and you start looking at some of the numbers, and you start seeing, well, yeah, nothing points to it being 2008. If you want to do your own data, if you still looking at this and you're like, well, I don't know who collected and calculated these numbers. I don't know that I trust them. Before you buy a home, totally fine. Go and do yourself a favor. More people are willing to watch a movie than they are to read a book, right? Go and watch the movie, The Big Short. It's one of my favorite movies. I love it. Yeah. I love The Big Short. Go and watch a movie called The Big Short. I think you can watch it on YouTube right now for free. Okay. So go and watch The Big Short. Okay. You're going to learn a lot about the 2008 housing crash and what went into it. Follow along because they actually break down what exactly MBS mortgage-backed securities are and how this whole operation works with mortgages. They break it all down, and Ryan Gosling is in there for you ladies who you notebook ladies. Okay, Brad Pitt is in there.
Okay,
I mean it's Steve Carell for you comedy lovers. Steve Carell from The Office is in there. Go watch The Big Short. It breaks everything down from 2008, and then once you understand that movie and learn what caused that. Go to every homeowner you know and ask them, hey, man, this is a nice house. Hey, is this on a fixed rate or is it gonna change when the market changes? And see how many of them say, oh no, fixed rate. Oh no, fixed rate. No, mine won't change. My mortgage is my mortgage. It's not gonna change. See how many of them tell you that, and let that be your research. Go ask 10 homeowners, and I guarantee you. 10 out of 10, maybe some of you. 9 out of 10, maybe. Guarantee you 10 out of 10. Go watch that movie, and just when you're done with your research, you're gonna realize I'm missing out. I'm missing out. 3 years from now, these guys are gonna be able to sell it for $60,000-$70,000 in that year alone.
Right.
They're gonna make $60,000-$70,000. That's my salary.
Yeah.
That's my salary. I'm gonna be able to double my salary by selling my home. 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now.
If they decide to,
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Why would you not do that? Why would you not do it? Why would you instead throw your money away? It makes no sense to me. If you're in the position to buy. If you're not, then work towards it. Contact us. We'll put you on a plan. Let's get you there.
For sure.
But if you're capable and you're just deciding, it's just not for me. I'm hearing this, that, and the other. Well, this, that, and the other are wrong.
Yeah.
There's just no other way to put it.
And honestly, I could see it. It's just hard when you've never bought a home. You're hearing all this tragic stuff happen. You're getting, you're listening to the wrong people. You're listening to information. Oh, it's blah, blah, blah. You're listening to horror stories. You got to really, like I said, the first thing to do, the thing that heals fear, right, and uncertainty and anxiety is just simple education.
Yeah.
Just learn. The more you know, the more you learn, the more you understand how real estate works and can be very lucrative, your fear level starts coming down because oh, okay, you're starting to hear things, you're starting to see things that you didn't know before. You're realizing it's not as everything's risky in life, right? But it's not as nearly risky as what you're hearing out there and all these doomers and crash brothers out there. So, like I said, it doesn't hurt. Education's free. Talk to someone, read books. There's a lot of material on YouTube.
Everybody's on YouTube anyway.
So much, right?
Watch a 2-hour movie. Exactly. It explains it all to you.
And that's the thing, what I feel, especially like Crash Brothers and some people, they choose to not do that. So they get what they get. So if you choose to just listen to one source of someone that's saying, not a good time, this and that, and you're just listening to all the bad things, why would you be motivated to go do anything? If that's you're only depending on this one source to get your information from, or a couple sources, and it's negative. Of course, you're not going to do anything. And then you want to look at their situation Always see whoever's telling you, doomer and things are bad about this. Look at the position they're in, right? And usually they're not a homeowner. They've never owned property. They're not investing. So if you're not into that, then cool, so be it, right?
Yeah.
But if you're looking to better your family, better your life, create, start developing generational wealth for your
Real
family.
estate, man.
You know what I mean? That's the only way to it legally, unless you got a 6-figure job, which even then, it's good income, but it still comes, you're not going to get that big chunk of cash at once to where you can make more decisions with your life. So.
Yeah, if you're making 6-figure income from a W-2 job, you should definitely be buying real estate because I know you're getting taxed. I know you're getting taxed.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, the tax benefit. That's so
tax
much.
benefits. It's wild, man. It's wild.
But Mark, if I buy a house, it's going to be expensive because if the water heater breaks, I got to pay it. The landlord doesn't pay it.
Yeah,
those are some of the things that people say. What would you say to someone that way?
Dumb. There's
a lot of ways.
You're trading a $400 water heater for $60,000 in equity
potentially,
right? How does that
more, right?
If I gave you $400 and you had to give me $60,000, would you sign up for that deal?
Yeah. But okay, yeah,
Hell
we moved to the
no,
house. Now we got to replace the roof. A year later, we got to spend $15,000 on a new roof. We got to finance it. We should. That's why I don't want to buy.
No, $15,000 on a roof.
I'm just telling you,
and then sell it for $30,000 more.
These are the things.
So
that
here's the thing. I get you. No, I get you. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And you're right. I have these conversations too. I have these conversations all the time. And the difference is, on one side, you make nothing. On the other side, you pay money to make more.
Yeah.
Like those are your two options. You break it down to the simplest form. One side, I make nothing. I still got to pay because I'm not going to live in a cardboard box on the street.
Sure.
On the other side, I got to pay. Same as I did on this side. I got to pay, but I'm going to make more. So it doesn't.
And then there's options too, right? Really there's always a home warranty in place, right? You buy your warranty. That's going to offset a lot of your cost. Insurance, homeowner insurance will cover certain things for your property.
And that's for that education you were just talking about.
That's it. Yeah.
That's what that walks into. If your main concern is your roof, dive into your roof and everything that could possibly cover it. Dive into real estate. Reach out to professionals. They're going to tell you everything that you have in your arsenal to fix that roof for minimum out of pocket. And if after that thing is fixed, you want to just get out of that house because it's just problem after problem, like that car that you just changed the belt on, and then you had to change the AC, and then you had to change the radiator, and then you had to change. Yeah, if you want to get out of it, then get out of it. After you fix it, you want to get out of it, get out of it.
Sure.
You're going to sell it for more than what you got it for.
That's it.
But you're not going to do that with something else. You're not going to do that with the vehicle.
Right.
If we carry that same thing over to the vehicle, radiator just replaced.
Unless you're restoring it old school, then that's different.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Classic. Yeah. That's the only difference.
And it's the same thing with homes. I mean, you go to a historical district, in some places have historical districts. In their towns, those are you can compare it to classic cars.
Yeah.
Because of the district that they're in that county or that city, they are worth more. That property is worth more because it's in a historical district.
Sure.
So if you want to compare it to a classic car, not everybody is living in homes in historical districts.
Right.
But, I mean, a vehicle versus a home is a no-brainer home. Now, when you go to the consumer, they're more willing to buy the vehicle than they are a home.
Yeah.
And that home is, I mean, what, $20,000 out of pocket? The vehicle is $65,000 over the course of 5 years. Why not just wait?
I have a thought. I think a lot of people, and including myself, was victim. I mean, we all went through it. I think sometimes, people want to look the part before being the part, in a sense. You know what I mean? So that's
to impress people they don't even know.
Right. Driving around a nice fancy car and pulling up to an apartment. Right. I mean, that happens a lot. Right. I mean, it is what it is. Right. But and I'm not knocking anyone. I mean, hey, if
I'm knocking them, I'll knock them.
Okay.
If I hear vroom vroom, right out back, out the complex window, underneath the carport.
Yeah.
Vroom vroom.
Well, it's not the best financial, I
It's
guess,
a terrible
way
mistake.
to go. But
You
if they're
do not
happy,
look smart.
they're happy. I'm happy, you know. But again, those same people, I don't want to hear. They shouldn't complain about money, finances, or not having, investments because they made their own decisions. But hey, if they're happy, they're happy, right? At the end of the day. But yeah, I think E40. Remember back in, I don't know, you're too young, man. Back when I was in high school, he had a line in the song. He said, "Don't buy $100,000 car before you buy a house," and that's the realest line ever. It's so true. Why you're gonna buy a fancy car and just to pull up, when that car is you drive it off the lot. Now it's a lot worse. It's worth a lot less than you bought it.
You know what's crazy though is that even the people that that's E40. A lot of people may not listen to E40. A lot of people may have heard E40 but don't really listen to his music like that. Yeah. A lot of people watching this may love E40 and know all of his songs. And even though they heard that in the line, they're still gonna go buy the car before they buy the house. Man, it's just like
yeah.
And they could, like you're right, bro. You're right. If they go that route. Cool. I mean, they're happy. They're happy.
And
but don't complain.
Well, yeah.
Because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'll tell you what you did wrong.
Yeah.
But don't complain. And
I can see, and I'm just thinking back when I was younger, in my 20s and early 30s. You're single, right? And yeah, I mean, there might be pressure, right, to get a nice car because you're looking for girls and to impress people and this and that to look good. And even though you're not a home buyer, I get it. It's a phase. It's just unfortunate that. A lot of the financial literacy and things that we should know, at least for me, I didn't hear about financial literacy until my 30s and really understand it or really even take time to want to understand it. But now, maybe if it was introduced earlier, because I didn't have any family that really knew anything about investing or finances at all. You know what I mean? So if it's not within family, your friends aren't talking about it.
Right.
We know the schools aren't talking about it.
Yeah, that's it.
You just see what you see on TV. You see people having fancy things and and enjoying life. So you're like, well, you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And it's just unfortunate. So hopefully, my goal is to start trying to educate people younger, the youth. I want to attack the youth and really let them know about ways they can, better their future, man, and really start now. And man, by the time they're my age, they should be, seven-figure, multimillionaires, something like that, if you get it young.
And then people in programs like Elijah, who we just had on our last show.
Go see that last show, guys.
Last week's show.
Hernandez.
People what Elijah's doing, man. He's spreading that curriculum that opens the world to these kids who have no idea that the world is bigger than what they know. Right. And it's not necessarily financial education and financial literacy. It's not. I didn't hear him talk about that kind of curriculum at all. But when you show somebody that the world is bigger than what you know, they're going to naturally be like, well, what else is there?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Very true.
That you're feeding their curious mind. Mm-hmm. I think naturally humans are curious. All the way down to children. Yeah. And I mean, a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, they're wondering what's going to happen when they push their finger into a socket. Yeah. They're wondering they're curious. People are naturally curious. And then for whatever reason, it just stops. It just stops.
Yeah.
And the curiosity is just killed. And then all of a sudden you think where you're at is the max. It's not.
Right.
It's not. That is not the max.
It's a combination of things, I believe. It's a lot. It's a lot of moving parts to what we are. But I would say this. I'm gonna just talk about school. Well, at least in school, this is very interesting. From K through 12, really, you go through school and you pretty much I'm not saying all schools. Some schools are really good now, and as we come in, but a lot of especially in my time, school, they're just giving you, a bunch of work, right? Work you're not interested in, just stuff you have to do. You got to do this, study this, test, stuff you're not really engaged in or don't know. So basically, you go 12 years, right, or 13 years of schooling, doing everything that the teachers want you to do, right? Everything you have to do, reading stuff you're not necessarily interested in, but you have to do it because you have to get the grade, right? So, and then it's so funny because as soon as you graduate college, the first thing they ask you, as soon as you graduate high school, now you're entering college. Now they're like, hey, what do you want to do the rest of your life? Well, hey, if you think about it, I haven't had a time to think about
No.
what I wanted to
Yeah.
do because
Yeah.
the last 13 years, you told me what to do. I had to do this, and I had all this work to do. So I'm just doing all this stuff to pass. And now you're wanting me to kind of think about what I'm really
Right.
into or what I'm good at. And someone said that before, and it makes sense because it's true. Like we didn't have the capacity, you really don't have the time, or because you're boggled down so much with your regular work, school work, this and that, and so where is the time to really get experiences or experiment things outside of your natural schoolwork to see if there's something else that you're drawn to or good at, or what you're naturally
That's at home.
gifted at. A lot of people don't get that at home. Like
Yeah,
how does that
Yeah.
at least
But
not my time.
That's the only. Yeah, no.
Not
Same here.
I'm a
Me
Gen
too.
I'm a Gen Xer. We didn't get that luxury at home. A lot of us just our parents only knew so much, themselves, right?
Right.
And at least my day as Gen Xers, I'm speaking for Gen Xers. It was just a bad matter. Go to school, get the grades, go to college, graduate college, get a good job. That's it. There was no
Right.
There was no talks of, at least especially in my family, no talks of being an entrepreneur, working business, finances, investment. I mean, none of that. So that's typically you got to go outside. But back then, there was no internet either. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it was real tough to
no.
get the information, right?
And I think that's why certain age groups, they're viewed differently, and why I view this newer generation as they're just really, they're not taking advantage of the tools that are in front of them, because honestly, it still is kind of like a trigger word for me when people lump millennials together, because that's what I'm technically. I'm a whatever the label. I didn't have nothing to do with it. I was just born,
Yeah.
But I'm a millennial, and I feel like millennial is like when all of that division between when you were born and this time and that time, like that's like the cutoff.
Yeah.
Like millennials is when it all started, when people were lazy, when it all started, when nobody wanted to work. No, people just wanted to be on their video games, or people just wanted to be in front of screens, and to be
that's very false.
100%
That's false, to be honest.
You think so?
I think so.
Why is that?
I mean, the false accusation that millennials are lazy. Gen Z.
Oh, it's 100% false.
100%
But
false.
I think that's when it was coming out.
Yeah, it was.
Millennials
and that's
caught
because
the brunt of all of that.
well,
Like,
that's because
what the fuck did we do?
boomers. I would say Gen X for the most part gets it for the most part, but maybe some older Gen Xers don't. But boomers, I would say,
They ruined
they
the
didn't
country.
understand how the internet could definitely create opportunities, right? And a lot of millionaires,
They couldn't keep up.
right? A lot
That's
of people
what it was.
became, very wealthy working the internet, being online, right?
By
So
rejecting the traditional norm.
right? So
Because it clearly does not work.
100%, right? And then so with the experience of working outside the quote unquote, the regular 9 to 5,
Right, yeah.
People are finding different ways to work from home. You can work online, sales. I mean, there's a lot more opportunity nowadays, and a lot easier to get that information and learn how to do what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
So I think it just took them a lot of people a while to understand, like, oh, wait,
Oh, they're still not there, bro.
they don't
I
get,
argue with them all the time.
yeah, you really.
I do. As a matter of fact,
Are you on like on Reddit and chat in these chat rooms, man, going at it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna display my username, but
Are you there trolling and stuff,
dude,
man?
I get irritated, man.
Yeah.
Like when I hear, all of this about, the new age, like we did not decide this. You know what I mean? The internet didn't come out because somebody born in 1989 invented it. Mm-hmm. No, it was just here when we got here.
Right.
So somebody older than us invented that, not us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So when that comes out, and we're able to do calculations and understand that the math ain't mathing for us to be somewhere for 35, 40 years,
Right.
and to be living on $4,000,
Man.
and security's all gone.
Right.
You boomers that are telling us we're doing shit wrong,
Yeah.
you're getting all your money right now, and we're paying you. We're paying you.
Yeah, and thanks to the
And-
boomers, because that's the reason I got into real estate. I would see the older generation
Dude,
at my last job, and I'm like, wait a minute,
Bro,
I
can't stand them.
I'm going to work this long.
I cannot stand them.
retire in
Yeah,
my
100%.
60s to still be struggling and to get a part-time job or get a job after I retire at old age and barely make. No, that's not.
It
That's
was-
not the goal.
it was so wild to me to hear, like, when I left law enforcement and I canceled out my pension. They're like, dude,
What?
I canceled that shit out. They're like, hey, you've been here for 10 years.
So you lost your retirement?
I didn't lose it. I took it out and invested
Oh,
it.
you took. Oh, got it.
Yeah, I canceled. So when I left 10 years with the department, they told me when I left, I was 30. They said, if you leave this money in here till you're 57 years old, which is 27 years from when I had left, don't touch it. When you're 57, you can start collecting on this pension, $711 a month. I said, word? Wow.
700.
They said, whoa, there's more. If you wait until you're 64 and a half, you can collect $970 a month.
What?
I said, shit.
You're gonna be a rich man, then. Huh?
Cancel my shit right now.
Right.
Give me my 60 grand.
Get that.
I'm not gonna fund no more of this baby boomer. I'm not funding this anymore. Give it to me, and I'll cash flow more on a property with that 60 grand right now.
Doesn't make any sense.
Right now, I'm not gonna wait
Right.
27, 30 plus years.
Right.
And to be honest, it's crazy. They're like, oh, they don't want to work. Millennials don't want to work
No.
because they're not getting traditional jobs.
Yeah.
Bro, this shit don't work.
It
don't
like you
work.
said, the math wasn't math.
Math ain't mathing.
So people are just making better decisions now. But a lot of boomers, they're just going off of history, right? Everything.
They're just doing what
it
they're
was
told.
done this way the whole time, so this is the only way we know. This is how it's going to be, right? But
They were fed that lie and they lived that lie.
Right.
So now they got to defend that lie
Well,
because they're dying on that
Here's
hill.
the thing.
I'm sure most of them, deep in their heart, wish I would have bet on myself.
No, there was a time. We were talking maybe 50, 60, 70 years, who knows? A long time ago, there was a time when things made sense, right? Your income compared to what you can get. Like, my parents bought their house in San Francisco, like in the, I don't know, 40s or something for like $15,000 or something crazy, right? So, there was a time in America, I guess, where, that whole quote unquote American dream was possible, right? Get the job, you work a decent job, you're able to pay your bills, have a little something extra, you're good to go. But over the years, it's just been, as things come less affordable, prices are going higher than people's, I think, wages have been increasing over the years, So that's a problem, and it just got worse. The gap from what you make an hour compared to where prices are now, it just widens so much to where, people need to work 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs.
So work 'em.
And it just doesn't make any sense, like you said. So, of course, naturally going to start thinking of other ways. And once people realize, like, oh, man, I can do this online, or I can...
and still go.
Yeah, I
make
can
money
do
from
sales. I can do that. I can do other...
the computer and show up at my job all at the same time.
Yes, yeah.
And
then
people
if you're...
knock them for that.
Yeah,
It's
and if
crazy
you're...
to me.
And those that were fortunate were able to work their way off the job like we both did,
Like we did, right?
Yeah, to work, you're like, wait a minute, this is... I'm not going to be here another 15
ain't
years
working.
because I'm seeing the older generation right now who just retired, and the ones that are about to retire, they're, unfortunately, a lot of them are, they have medical issues by the time they get old. They can't enjoy retirement.
Dude. They got 5 years, and then all of a sudden we're having a celebration.
Right.
Celebration of life because they just retired 5 years ago, but now they're gone.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Unfortunately, yeah. And a lot of them don't have much when they do go.
Right.
And if they do, are able to live longer, like 20, 30 years after retirement, they're just not, they can just do so much. They're still living check to check. It's just not.
Dude, I know 40-year-olds who are done, bro. Mm-hmm. Just retired already. That's insane, bro.
Yeah.
And they're right here in town.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
but you got to do.
Why am I doing this then?
You got to do something, though. I get it. Yeah.
You got to.
Yeah. It's a blessing, but the beauty is you want options. You want to be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. That's the ultimate goal.
Right.
The ultimate goal, be where you want to go.
Whatever that
be where
may
you want to be. Yeah. Whatever I feel like doing today, do I have to work? I really don't because, income's good. I might just want to take off to the coast for a couple of days. And that's the luxury of true success, in my opinion. That's true freedom. That's the end goal. To wake up every day and decide how you want to spend the rest of your day. And money is not even an issue.
Yep.
How would you spend your days if that was the case? I mean, it's getting there soon.
I got a laundry list of things I would love to do. And it's not necessarily places to visit. It's things I want to do.
Accomplish.
Right? I want to learn how to play the guitar.
No way.
Yeah. I want to be in a charity boxing match.
Be like Slash from Guns N' Roses, man. Remember?
Whatever, bro. Who knows?
Yeah, you didn't know I knew that.
I might
huh?
be. Yes.
Yeah, I know a little bit of this and a little bit.
Hey.
I know a little rock. I used to like.
I do want to learn how to play the guitar. Piano's a close second.
Oh, piano.
If I got the time, I'll do them both. You know, I do. I've always wanted to like box as like daily and
No
like,
way.
learn to box, and I want to box in a charity match, dude.
Shut
I
up.
do want to. I want to box. So there's a lot of things.
Wait, let's call somebody out. Who'll be your first person you call out?
You, Rich. Nah. We're gonna set up the cameras and
Will be another
Heat speakers.
Heat speaker.
Co-host versus co-host.
Hey, we might have to do that.
Let's do it.
Will it be another loan officer? You know, compete.
Oh man. Hey.
You know, a little competition.
We got one client figuring out who they're gonna use. We're gonna figure this out in the ring.
There you go. That might be the thing to do. Heat speakers, boxing.
There's a lot, man.
Oh,
you know?
Should we let them? We'll talk about this more off camera. But guys, we're planning a raffle. We're gonna be giving out I think about a $200 gift card. That's coming up soon. So we talked about it, but we haven't revisited it. But we'll talk about it a little bit more. But yeah, so look out for that, guys. We're planning a raffle for you guys to win a gift card. Other than that, man,
That's the update.
That's it, huh? You
That's
got
it.
anything else, man? You want to leave them with something? Whatever happened to those quotes you used to get? Man? You used to get some good quotes.
Oh yeah, I did.
Got anything for us?
I don't. I'm unprepared today.
Gotcha.
I know you got a list, right? Or no?
Oh, I wasn't prepared for it. We'll
Okay.
get it next time. No,
Next time.
We'll get a quote next time. Cool, man. That's it. Check out last episode too.
Yeah,
with
with
Elijah
Elijah.
Hernandez. Oh man, amazing.
Shine for Education, nonprofit organization that he's running.
Young guy.
Elijah's a youngster doing great things.
Yes.
Got a bright future ahead of him. Always looking for donations, not always in the form of money. Your energy, your time, your assistance.
It's great.
Your word of mouth, your referrals, everything helps him continue to push his curriculum through, and his curriculum is great. So check out that last episode.
Yeah, he's changing the future for sure.
Awesome things coming from him.
For sure.
I
like
think
that shirt, man. Great
I
shirt.
think I've watched. Yeah, this is the heat speaker shirt.
You guys like those?
I would take
Let
it
us
off
know
and
what
show
you think.
But then I don't want to intimidate anybody with my guns.
Hey, come on, man. Andrew Tate does it all the time.
Andrew Tate.
He always has his shirt off.
Where's
in
my
the
cigar
interview.
at, man? And my sunglasses.
Yeah, there you go. You get see it bulking up.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Well, until next time. Thank you for tuning in.
Take care, guys.
Heat speakers.